And I'll pass it over to you, David. Today we're going to talk about including additional call to action, CTAs, to your homepage hero section.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, so this was an update that we teased in the Facebook group about a month ago now. Basically, with this update, there's a couple new spots where you can add custom content of any kind. In the hero section, you'll probably want to add maybe a little piece of text, some extra information, or some additional calls to action. So that's what we'll be showing in this tip of the week. Go over the hero section a little bit, and then also show you some use cases and give you some custom code that you can just copy and paste, drop right into your own site to start adding some custom and additional calls to action to your hero section immediately. We did cover hero sections kind of more generally as a whole in a previous webinar. I think it was webinar 151, where we went over some design tips and best practices for hero sections. But before we dive into the use cases for this update, we wanted to briefly go over again and review what a hero section is and what the primary goal of a hero section is, what we kind of always want to keep in the back of our mind as we're crafting them. So the hero section, it's typically the most prominent section on a homepage. It's something that we really want to use to grab a new visitor's attention. And in it, we can communicate what the main purpose, the main message, the value proposition of our website is to the visitor. So you can see a great example here on the right of a great hero section on a homepage. It'll typically include a really large, full width, high quality image, sometimes some sort of embedded video, as well as a tagline, a title, maybe some subtitle text, but most importantly, some sort of call to action. So in this screenshot example, the call to action was a form submission for somebody to input their email address. This will just depend on what the goal of your website is. If we have a local business directory, we want people to immediately start searching and finding the businesses that they're looking for. Our call to action might be just a simple search form. In other cases, it might be a button or two linking to other areas of the website. That'll really just depend on the main purpose of your website. But as a whole, the hero section is the most prominent section typically on a homepage. And we want to use a high quality image and use some taglines or text that'll really grab a visitor's attention, let them know what the website is for, and start getting them to click around and using the site immediately.
Yeah, and I'm a big advocate for keeping things simple, nice and tidy, and very clear without too much clutter. However, what we're going to show you in this tip of the week are some areas where you can maybe squeeze in something, spoiler alert, like a testimonial that can help enhance the hero section. But generally, we want to keep things nice and simple and clean. Another thing we want to do is spark an emotional connection. So as David mentioned, the high quality images, we want an image that portrays the mood of the brand and the experience that we're going to deliver to the user, as well as maybe images that represent or reflect who the persona of the visitor or user is on your website. That way, when people come to your website, they feel like they're in a place where they belong, and they're going to be encouraged to continue digging into some more of your internal pages.
Yeah, so the homepage hero section, as well as the call to action, they really should help brand new visitors understand the website's purpose, not just through the image itself, but really through the title, if we're going to have a subtitle, and the calls to action should be relevant. It should push new visitors to conduct some sort of action that we want them to take on the website. That's going to help with the overall purpose of the hero section and these calls to action, which would be to minimize bounce rate. We want to get visitors quickly clicking and exploring our website, going to additional pages throughout the site. We also want to present our brand as being high quality and credible. A simple, high quality image, typically maybe with a smiling face, that does wonders in terms of presenting our brand as being high quality. And even, again, just simple things can really make new visitors feel that our website is credible. In this example here, you can see the second button, Featured Tutors. It just has a little tiny icon of like a ribbon, a badge. So that could make new visitors think, okay, well, if they have featured tutors, maybe they have some sort of application process or vetting process that they go through to feature certain tutors. Just a simple thing like that could help add some credibility to our brand. But again, overall, we want to keep things simple and have a clear purpose with the hero section and the calls to action that we have within the hero section. We don't want to clutter it with too much information. We want to really stay on point, on focus with the hero section and the calls to action. And so by default in the design settings, there's a few elements that you can add to the hero section that's on your homepage. You can add a background image. You can add some main title text, subtitle text if you want to add additional information to go along with the title. And then you can choose your primary search box or other call to action that you want to use. The other call to action might be, a couple buttons linking to other pages on the website if you don't want to have a search box. So this is what you can do by default within the design settings for the homepage hero section. And with the new update, we've added 2 new widgets, which you can edit, basically one above that search box or call to action and one below. And so you can drop any custom code you want in there to really expand the usefulness of the hero section. So here we have some popular use cases. We'll show you what these look like in practice. We'll also give you the code so you can edit that code and drop it right into your own site to start using it. But some popular use cases would be some additional supportive text, really simple, just to go along with the main title or the subtitle text that you already have in the design settings. You can also add a tag cloud of popular searches. So if somebody really maybe isn't sure exactly what they want to search for, you can give them some suggestions that they can click on and immediately view search results. You can also add additional calls to action. So in this example, we have a button going along with the search module saying, not a member, join now for full access, and that button can link visitors to a registration page or the join page. You can also add some custom images or a banner ad into the hero section through this method, as well as a testimonial. The testimonial, I think, is a great use case, and excited to show you that one and provide you with the code there as well.
And just a little background, what we're going to show you today does require just a little bit of simple coding. Before we dive into kind of how to add some of these popular use case examples that we've shared, we're first going to show you some things you can do quickly, like in the previous examples David just shared, and then we'll show you how you can add one or all of these popular use cases that we've mentioned here. You probably don't want to use all of them because it would go it would clutter too much, as we've suggested, but maybe you want to use 1 or 2, or depending how you're elegantly displaying them on the site, you could use more of these use cases altogether. So let's take a look at the sample site we have here, and we'll just go to the home page. So let me show you some things we can do without the quote-unquote small bit of coding that we mentioned here. So let's go to the design settings together. Let's kind of reset ourselves for a moment, and we can see what we can do without just by pointing and clicking on the site. So if we go to design settings, and from here we'll go to home page, and let's start here at the search box / call to action. So what we have here right now is custom content. We can see that there is a custom content option here. This is also where, if we wanted to, instead having custom content, having like a keyword search or keyword and location search. But we've opted for the custom content, and with that it's exactly that. We choose all the custom content we want here, and it uses the text editor, which is pretty simple, point and click. We can add images, videos, even the pre-made elements. Let's just add another one just for fun. Let me just toggle this, and we'll just do this one here. Great. And I know this is going to be on the home page. I'm just going to want all the font to be white in this example. Let me just quickly save the changes. And if we come back here to the home page, we can see here we've now added some content. We have some text, a button link, an image. This image could very well just be a video introducing people to the site. And we can add more buttons here if we want them to sign up or search the site or whatever it might be. After this, if we're not going to use custom content, we can also use Earlier we created display button links, just a simple way to display button links, up to 3 buttons. You can have 1, 2, or 3. It'll center the buttons just the same. And we called it button 1, button 2, button 3. We'll just call this webinar demo so we can see this in action. And we'll refresh this. All this custom content should be gone. So now we have button 1, button 2, and we can see the webinar here. And these can link to registration pages, your search pages, your events, whatever it may be that's important. But as David mentioned, with the hero section, the goal is to reduce the bounce rate. We want people to come to our site, understand it, and quickly click in and begin their journey. So when you're thinking of your website and looking at your homepage, ask yourself, what journey am I creating or initiating for the visitor? What pathways am I presenting to them? And again, we don't want too much clutter, but maybe an option or two will help guide them to more internal pages of your website, because now you've got their attention. And that's the hardest part of any website, whether it's the home page or a landing page, is keeping people there, getting them to scroll, absorb more information on whatever content you're presenting to them. And then lastly, if we go here and we can do the keyword and location search to search for members, and we'll hit the refresh button, and we can see here we now have kind of the typical search that a default Brilliant Directory site begins with. Of course, it's meant to enhance a bit further. And let's take it another step further. Instead of centering things in this example, we're going to left align everything. So let's save the changes, and then we'll show you how we're going to add some of these custom content CTAs. And again, this was kind of designed for web designers, because prior to this update, they'd have to go into some complicated widgets, but now there's some clean widgets that they can edit and drop in their little snippets of code. So we're going to just provide you with a few examples of that. So we see here just again a little bit about the home page. I aligned everything left, but the title is going a little bit further than I personally want it to. You can adjust that here in the hero title text. We'll set this to 60%, and that will only allow the title to move 60% into the page. So it's nice and tidy now. And these are widgets that we're going to edit. Let me go to Visit Website. So if you're looking on how to find these widgets, you can click on the orange Visit Website button, and you'll have the admin bar here in the sidebar. And of course, with this, we can click on Show Widgets, and it'll kind of show us all the modular components that make up the page. And so what's new here is we have these 2 widgets here, Bootstrap Theme Homepage Search Extra Content above, and Bootstrap's Theme Homepage Search Extra Content below. And we've created this little Google Doc here that we kind of did this a little quickly before the webinar, but it's going to show you our examples and the widgets to edit. And I've actually gone ahead and I did customize these widgets already. I've just disabled them, but you would just click here and then customize the widgets. Let's go to the widget manager together. We've kind of done everything we've wanted to do in the design settings, and go to the widget manager here and see some of the custom modules I've created for the home page. So I have these 2 customized, but I have them disabled. Let me re-enable them. And this is going to be the whole enchilada. We've added pretty much everything here once I enable these, but we can pull them back one by one and see what we've done exactly. Great. So we have our main title, and we've added 5 components here. We've added a snippet of paragraph text. That's one that we can choose to have. We've also added a button, want to list your company, join today. Again, this could be a button for anything. We've also, and this might be more popular for people wanting to do this, is the popular searches. And then you can choose just some popular maybe categories that people search on your site. This works really well if you're already regionally specific. Because if you're already like a Los Angeles business directory, then searching for doctors makes sense because you're already within the Los Angeles area. Or if you're within a specific industry or niche, we'll say immigration law, and then maybe visas is a category. So you can just quickly link to that, and we'll show you how we did that. Another thing really goes a long way, especially if you're looking to build trust with visitors or show social proof that your website is trustworthy and credible. is showing just a very small or simple testimonial or blurb. Maybe your site has received 5 stars on a review site and you'd like to showcase that. You can put the stars here as an image or what have you. And then lastly, and it doesn't have to be from a big company, it can even be selling ad space to members on your own website and creating some premium areas here where people can pay to have a sponsored banner ad. And again, maybe it could just be embedded Google ad code or ad code from another service, or it can be little images that you create and you can sell those spots to your members, or you can self-promote some things that are happening in your own company. So a banner on spot for basically any purpose is available here. So let's start with the above. I guess we called this one the extra content above section. And I'll just use our little Google Doc here as a guide. So we've added 2 sections here at the extra content above. The first one here is the snippet of just text. And the second one is the button here, the blue button that we've added, want to list your company today. So if we come here to the widgets to edit in the doc, we can see here, Dave, thanks for putting this together. So this is the additional supportive text. It's basically a paragraph of text that you can add below the title. Maybe you're not using the title, but here it is here. And if you just copy and paste this into the said widget here, the Bootstrap theme homepage search, extra content above, you will then effectively have a paragraph of text here. You can just replace this here, the black text here that we have in the Google Doc. Anything more I need to say about that, David?
I think that's it. If you are familiar with HTML or CSS, you can certainly edit this further. But if you just wanted to use it as is and edit just the text itself, yeah, you would just edit that black text, copy it, and paste it into the widget.
That's right. And yeah, if you're familiar with a little bit of HTML coding, you could enhance this a bit more. So the next one is the button here, and we're suggesting to use it as a member sign up or a list your company, or maybe you're a members only website and they're on the home page and they really need to create an account for access to your premium content. We just see some people logging in here. That's great. But in this one, we kind of put some markers here, the button link URL. So basically what you want to replace is the href. Right now it's going to the /join page of the website. So just do / whatever you want this button to link to. You could link directly to a checkout page. So if you just want quick registrations from people, you can probably just go to the finance section. It's a great way to intermingle this. And the general user account, we can just copy the sign up link and we can utilize that. I'll revert this, but we can just paste that in there in the href equals, and in between the quotes is where we want to put our link. So you can put whatever link you want there. And then the text of the button, we put some comment markers here. This is the button link text. Just replace this with whatever you want the button to say. And you can have a button directly above your search. Again, let's say, even if you were going to add just one, I think this would be great because it's going to encourage user registration and user sign up. And it's elegant, it's not too busy, and it's telling people that you're inviting them to sign up to your site. So these two, I think, are the 2 simplest ones, just a paragraph of text and a button. And I think the next one we'll look at, we'll scroll down here. I think this one is also pretty good, is the popular searches one. This one probably has the most moving parts, but is not too complicated with the HTML. So let's take a look at that one. Let me open this up here. Let's go to the widget manager, and then we'll look at the Google Doc together. So this was the extra content below. And of course, you can choose what you want above or below. This is a mix and match. So here, I'm just going to put some line breaks here so we can look at this one. This is the popular searches one. So we've commented it with the title text, so popular searches. Maybe you want to call it top searches. Maybe you need to translate it into your language, or you might want to call it quick search, whatever makes sense for you. And then we have the links. So let me go to the Google Doc now so we can see that together if we scroll down. So this is the tag cloud of popular searches. So we have the title text here. This is popular searches. Again, you can change it. Then we have the links. Now, maybe you want to limit this to, I don't know, 3 to 6 links depending on how much space you want it to take up. But you can, each one of these lines is a link. And again, the href equals, that is a link to that search results page. So let's see how we can find a search results page for one of our categories together. Well, a few things you can do. If you want to do a search, you can do a keyword search for doctor and just go to the search page. Many of us have the browse categories in the footer by default if you haven't removed that. But we can see here like auto services. We can just click on view all. And now we have the link for auto services. It's / auto services. And that's the auto services category of this website. So let's actually do that together. Let's edit the first one here. We'll keep the view all, but instead of doctors, we'll do auto services. So this is kind of the visible text over here. And then where we want it to link to goes inside of the href here. Href equals and in between them. So auto services and auto services. Let's save the changes. And let's go back to the home page. So now we can see auto services here. And if I click that, if you look at my bottom left there, we can see that it says auto services. And it takes us to the auto services page. So not terribly complicated, but we do need to get the link to the category. And if you don't have that link in your footer, let me show you another place where you can copy the link for the category. If we go to My Members and Member Categories, we can see here, these are the categories. It could be sub-level categories, top-level categories, but we do have the link URL here. I see this is probably a place where we'll put a copy button as well. But let's look at restaurants. If I click open here, we can see that the URL is / restaurants. So let's actually add that as well for the next one. And we're going to replace lawyers in this example with restaurants. And let me just show you, let me type in top restaurant. So this is the public text that's going to show for the button, and the href is the restaurants. I'm a little worried about sharing HTML code because I know many of us are just beginners and novices, but we're just showing you the kind of the easiest way to do this without tripping over our own actions here. So if we scroll down a bit now, and we can see here in this example, it's gone to the next line. So we might want to shorten it. I put top restaurants here, and if I click that, it's taking me to the restaurants page. So let's just switch this back to restaurants. Now, what's cool about doing this, and again, back to the objectives of the hero section of a home page, is we want people to quickly come to the site and do an action, conduct a search, read what's on the page. And these quick search links, I think, are a great way to get people to just click them, because some people are just curious. They just see a link. It's, it says restaurants. Even David's example, the featured tutors, just that slide made me want to click on it and see why are these tutors featured. It just adds a little bit of intrigue to the homepage, as well as it lets me know the website knows what they're doing. They've organized content for me to find things easily. So there's also a convenience factor that you're providing to the user. I'm just going to make this a little high level here for those higher level users out there. These are in bootstrap columns. In this case, it's 6. So if we increase this to 10, it goes up to 12. We should have more space here for the quick search. Just to show you an example here, we can see that extends out a bit further by changing the colMD in the code here between 1 and 12. In our case, we had 6 and just increased it to 10.
And one other good use case for this one would be, if someone has a national or even a statewide directory and you want to show search results or link users to search results for specific areas, you could pick out, the top metro areas that you want to target and link to those as well here instead of categories or specific keywords.
Absolutely. Let's do Los Angeles as an example. Just as a quick example. So to get the link for that, you can do a search for Los Angeles, and technically everything after the first / is how you get to this page. So I could copy all this code here and put that as my href code. Another thing you can do, again, a little higher level, if you do a Control-U, Web pages do have pretty URLs for Google. So this was a search for Los Angeles. So BD sites are really souped up for SEO. The canonical link here is what it's called, is Los Angeles. So we have that here as well, canonical URL. And that's kind of the pretty user-facing one. But if you notice, if you go to Amazon and you conduct a search, that URL looks crazy because it's doing a bunch of dynamic searches. That's usually what the case when you're using forms on a site, but they all come back to a canonical URL. So in this case, we can do / Los Angeles. Oops, yeah, we can do that. And again, we don't need the full URL. We could use it. That's called the absolute URL. We just need the first / and we'll put Los Angeles here and we'll save the changes. And if we come back to the home page, we can see Los Angeles is here and we'll click on that and we're back to the Los Angeles results here. So already making it easy to use this website. Anything else we should cover there, David, with the quick searches?
I think that covers it. Really direct users to any specific search results pages or other pages that you kind of want to hyper focus on.
You've given me another great idea here. So perhaps your main search is for searching members or business listings on the site, business services on the site, but maybe the quick search is other parts of your site. Let me just show you. So what we can do are the different post types. So we can do events, coupons. And again, I'm just using examples that are kind of in line with the local business directory. If you're already serving a specific region like Los Angeles, then having a link to the events would make sense because we're already in Los Angeles and we're just going to see Los Angeles events. So we would link to that post types URL. So yeah, it can be more categories, it could be specific locations, it could be to post types, or it could be a combination of all those. All right, let's move down here to the blurb here. So in this case, we did upload an image to the media manager and we just put some simple text here. I love this solution. We use it every day. It could be a testimonial of a member. It could be a testimonial of an advertiser. It could be a badge that you've received from, or an accolade from some kind of industry specific organization. And you can put your star rating there. So just some kind of a social proof so that when people arrive to your website, they can see that others are benefiting from your service. You know, especially if you just launched your website and you're a brand new entity. We did do a webinar on this, how to immediately establish credibility for your site. These are some simple things you can do on your homepage that can kind of earn the trust of visitors who may be finding you for the first time. So let's take a look at the Google Doc here. Dave, thanks for putting this together. Super helpful. Testimonial blurb, here it is. So in this case, there are basically two components, the testimonial image, and over here we have the src equals, and then in between the quotes is the full file name of the image. So if you're uploading an image to your media manager, let me show you how you can get that URL. Let's do that together. Let's go to the media manager. Let's use this image here of this star rating. It's a circle image. Again, you could upload the image of somebody's face or a badge or what have you. But when you're here in the media manager, just right click on the image and the copy URL. And now we can see the URL of the image. I'm going to copy this. And let's go back to that widget we have here with the testimonial. Here it is. And I'm going to replace this. So what we want to do is paste the image in between the quotation marks. And that will be our new image here. Let's take a look at the home page. There we go. So now it's the picture of the star. So when you add something to your media manager, if you ever kind of want to get that full URL of the image, and because you're going to use it in different places like I just showed, you add it to the media manager, right click, and you can just paste it. And of course, you don't need the full URL if you're using it on your own website. You can just take it from the first /. So in this example, we could have done just / images and the verified member PNG. And then the second part is the testimonial text. In this case, we said, I love this solution. Let's go back to the doc here. We've added it here. And then the person's name is in a small tag. It just makes it a little smaller. For styling, we did a hyphen and their name. You can remove this if you want, if you don't want to show somebody's name. Or you can actually get a testimonial of somebody and you'll have a small blurb here. David and I were chatting. We thought actually, just depending on how many you're using on your site, maybe the blue sign up button or whatever color you're going to use for the sign up and the testimonial can go above or below each other, so they're next to each other. So you're reading a testimonial and then that's kind of a motivation to want to join the site as well. So you might want to put the join and the testimonial in closer proximity to each other, just as an option there. Some things to think about when you're choosing which one of these to add to your homepage.
And another actual example going along with this, it would require modifying the code a little bit, but if you get a little creative, we've shown avo.com in some previous webinars, a lawyer directory, avvo.com. But if you want to kind of either feature specific members in your hero section or even sell the hero section as kind of featured ad space, you could use a photo of one of your members as the main hero image, and then you can add some additional information as text into the hero section. Here, Avo has their name, number of reviews, phone number, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do kind of like a takeover of the homepage in a way. Again, mixing and matching the background image to match the testimonial text or sponsorship text on the homepage. Great way to sell ad space on your site. And even in this example, if they gave this away to Aaron Langstein for free for whatever reason, if I was a lawyer on this website, I would be emailing in asking how I can get my face on there on the homepage. So it's a great way to, you can always give the first one out complimentary to someone, and that should create some excitement from other members who might want to be represented on your homepage as well. And yeah, that just goes back to the last one here is, this is basically, this is just an image here. We just Googled sample banner ad image, but this could be an image you create. It could showcase a service you're offering. So it can be an internal banner ad that promotes one of your own services. It could be an affiliate link to something else. Really, it's customer's choice here what you want to put. But let me show you where we did add that in the code. If we scroll down here, it's probably one of the simpler ones. Let me just refresh this for a moment. And I'll just add some spaces so it's really easy to see. I'll reference the Google Doc, but in this case, it's just a banner ad URL. You don't have to make it a link, but in this case, we're linking it to the join page when you click on it, and then the image SRC. So we've added just a banner that we uploaded to the Media Manager here. We just showed you how to grab that image. And let's reference it in the Google Doc. It'll be up here. So same thing here. So here we have the banner ad and the banner URL and then the banner image itself. So everything in between that SRC here. And that's basically it in a nutshell. We can get deeper. I think there was one bonus thing we wanted to share. If you're a hire, we created these because it was hard to slip in content for web designers. They were having to edit the more complicated homepage widget that included all the homepage code in it. So now they can just customize some empty widgets and put these little snippets of code in there. Just one more thing, and this would definitely require a designer's touch, is what we've seen some other people do in addition to these simpler things. I'm going to use an example. Corey Barnes from our previous webinars, he's done some good customizations on his homepage. But with this update, it will be less cumbersome and a bit simpler to kind of have tabbed homepage. So you can have the tab content above, and depending on what you're clicking on, it kind of changes what's here. And we can see they're also using some quick links here right under the search module. So just something else that a little higher level web designers can consider. This should make it a bit easier for them. And we showed before getting into this some of the simpler ways, the point and click settings, as I like to call them, of how to add custom content to the homepage by using the available text editor. So again, this is just a little bit more intermediate level for those people that want to sneak in some additional things in between the title and the search box or below the search box there.